Well, it feels like autumn has barely started, and yet already we've been subjected to a winter's worth of rain. But there was a slight break, just long enough to allow levels to reduce, which in turn gives opportunity a chance to increase. But even so, it wasn't until the sun was nearly down behind the trees before I got a chance to cast a line on a tributary of the River Rother. And my great fascination with these small rivers, and the thing that keeps me coming back, is that every storm, every flood, every drought, every season leaves its mark and changes the dynamic and the character of the river. And you find yourself in a situation where on every visit you're meeting a familiar friend for the very first time, because nothing is quite as you left it. I'd walked the river just a few days before this, and there was no sign of this raft of foam and branches that are jammed up against a bridge. And no doubt next time the river breaks its banks, all that will be washed away and relocate further downstream again. But it looked as if it could harbour a chub or two, so it was certainly worth running a float fished worm through the flow and up to the raft to see what was about. And after trying all the likely lies against the near bank and across the front of the raft and at various depths, I cast a line to a small slack on the far side, and as is so often the case, the last place you look is the first place you find them. And I got a solid response. And this is fishing with no expectation. I've really only been there for the pure enjoyment of being there. It's an opportunity to just lose yourself in nature, work out a new puzzle, and if you're very lucky, catch a fish. Size and number play no real part, and the pleasure is just in meeting the challenge. And after a brief fight, I had a lovely chub in the net. And if you are going to meet challenge, there's no better place to do it than an October evening in the Rother Valley. There's very few places that I'd rather be. And size and species is largely irrelevant. It is just for the love of being there. But having caught one fish, there was possibly the opportunity of another as the sun dipped low. So it was back out with the fishing rod into the pool. And truth be told, I just like any chance to fish with my trusty old holdfast rod and my most favourite of Richard Carter reels, whether I catch a fish or not. But something that did prove to be a bit of a challenge was that I noticed I was getting a lot of very, very quick bites. Too quick to hit, or hit successfully, and clearly the bait was too big for whatever fish was trying to take it. And I don't know whether that was chublets or possibly trout parr or maybe even minnow, but I'm quite keen to find out, because it does seem that this little stretches river is having a resurgence in terms of the species and the diversity of the species in it. But unfortunately I was beaten by the light. But it does mean that there's an opportunity to come back and do it all over again.